Someone asked, why is Loshon Hora such a terrible sin? Why is it considered the equivalent of idolatry, murder, and incest? I'll attempt to do so in a few moments. As I indicated in another place, the Torah can be understood on three distinct levels. I call them information, inspiration, and integration. When we see something, we deal with it as it presents itself to us. It's either beautiful or ugly, strong or weak, interesting or dull, exciting or without life. And to everything we react. One of the important things about the Torah is that the Torah teaches us that we must get along with each other, and that every person is special in God's eyes, and we must learn to cooperate and to deal with each other in a proper way and respectful way. And without this respect, there can be no society at home, no society out into the cities, no society at large in the world. And so one of the basic elements of dealing with people is to learn how to get along and to minimize strife. There is nothing as harmful to the peace and tranquility in a household, and peace and tranquility among family and among friends, as the power of the word, the slander. When we put somebody else down, we do so either out of anger, jealousy, false impressions, whatever the reason is, but we create strife. And so the first thing, which is the level of information, is that we have to learn how to get along. In order to learn how to get along, you have to protect each other's honor. Doesn't make a difference who it is. Try to speak kindly and deal properly and honorably with other people. And just as you wish to be dealt with honorably, and let people make decisions based upon your character, not from innuendo and false information or past information, because everyone has to be given a second chance. And so that's the first level in dealing with people. When you meet someone, you must learn to get along. In a society, you have to learn to get along. There is nothing quite as destructive as the power of the word, the power of innuendo, the power of the ability to erode the other person's reputation. The higher level lies in the fact that when you speak Loshon Hora means to tell the truth. You judge that person, whether you like to or not. When you see something on someone else and you repeat that event, you're judging that person. You're placing a judgment on that person. You're quantifying that person. You're saying in certain ways that this person is either good or no good. So what's wrong with that? We don't know the motive for people. We don't know what people have to live through in order to get through the day, in order to be able to earn their living, in order to be able to deal with their families. One of the great governing principles of the Torah, which has been the cornerstone of American jurisprudence, is a man is innocent until proven guilty, even if charged and found with his hands in the cookie jar. Person is given his day in court. And one of the most important factors in dealing with a person is motive. You don't know why a person did something. And sometimes if you knew the circumstances, you wouldn't be so quick to judge. And so a deeper understanding about the prohibition against Loshon Hara is that we really should not judge each other, because there is only one judge, and that's God. And God lets this person live. And God is the ultimate judge. Now a person might ask, what happens if this person is destructive and is a thief, a gangster, a person who you cannot trust? We're not talking about that. If somebody asks you, should I go into business with this man, you tell him no. If the man presses you, sometimes you're permitted to state what you know. Because here we're talking about keeping a person away from harm. But where there is no harm to another person, speaking bad about someone is judging that person, and judging that person unfavorably, without really knowing what lies within the heart of the person. Now, there is, to a certain degree, a mitzvah to embarrass the sinner. People who are evildoers, to a certain degree, there is importance in publicizing the evil of certain people. People who are very wicked. We're not talking about those kinds of people. Most people are people who, they do things, they don't know why they do them, they have certain needs and certain tendencies. We have to avoid judging people, because there is only one judge, and that's God. And when you speak Loshon Hara, when I speak Loshon Hara, we're passing judgment. We're saying that God doesn't know what he's doing, because this person's still around, or still has blessings when he's this kind of a person. And to a certain degree, that's idol worship, because we pass judgment when no judgment is given to us. It's also likened to killing someone, because you kill the person's reputation. You hurt and injure that person thousands of ways without the person even knowing. It's an injury to the person where the person has no defense. And that's why it's likened to killing. And it's also likened to incest, because you violate the other person's privacy. Talking about someone's private life, invades their privacy. And every person has a right to his or her own privacy. And that's the level of inspiration